Welcome to this explainer. We live in this wild era of spatial audio, active noise cancellation, and literally wireless everything. But right now, one of the best-selling audio devices on the market is a wire. A simple, incredibly familiar, wired product from Apple. We're looking at the totally unexpected retro revival of Apple's USB-C EarPods. We're going to skip the usual agenda today and jump straight into the data, the hardware, and the reviews to figure out exactly why this old-school approach is absolutely dominating the modern charts.
Okay, let's dive into this. Because honestly, if you've ever scrambled to join a virtual meeting only to hear that dreaded low battery chime in your ear, you are definitely not alone. Modern Bluetooth fatigue is a very real frustration. We're constantly dealing with pairing issues, annoying audio lag, and just the low-level anxiety of having to keep yet another device charged. But the source material we're analyzing today points to a massive consumer shift back to a surprisingly simple solution: a $19 wired earbud.
Section 1. The hardware: simple, wired, and upgraded.
When you look at the actual specs here, the appeal is just absolute simplicity. It's a plug-and-play USB-C connector for modern devices, complete with a built-in remote and an integrated mic for super clear calls. The buds use that classic geometry-based ear fit, but you know what the ultimate killer feature is for most people right now? Absolutely zero charging required. You plug it in, and it works, every time.
Now, Apple actually kept the legacy $19 price point across all three versions: the 3.5mm, the Lightning, and the USB-C. But this USB-C model is the real standout. Why? Because it completely unlocks universal connectivity. It effortlessly pairs with newer iPads, Macs, Windows laptops, and yes, even Android phones. It's essentially a universal key for modern audio.
Section 2. The audiophile secret: a hidden tech advantage. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that you might expect a cheap cable to just muddy the sound, but high-fidelity audio reviewers actually made a pretty surprising discovery. Hidden right inside that little USB-C connector is a highly efficient, dedicated digital-to-analog converter.
So, what does a DAC actually do? Simply put, it efficiently translates digital audio files from your device into analog sound waves that your ears can process. And audiophiles have noted that the tiny DAC inside these $19 EarPods is remarkably transparent. It processes lossless audio up to 24-bit, 48 kHz. Basically, it eliminates that annoying background hiss you get with cheaper alternatives, giving you incredibly clean, neutral sound. Section 3. What customers are saying based on over 13,000 reviews.
The data we're looking at here is overwhelmingly positive. Out of over 13,600 global ratings, a massive 83% of users give these EarPods a pure 5-star rating. Add in another 7% giving them 4 stars, and you're looking at 90% of buyers being highly satisfied with a wired piece of audio equipment in an increasingly wireless world. That is huge.
Breaking down the AI insights from these reviews, the main drivers are crystal clear. Sound quality and reliability absolutely lead the pack, with hundreds of positive mentions, followed pretty closely by value. But, it's not all perfect. The data definitely highlights some pain points around durability and the physical fit, which we'll explore in just a second. But first, to really understand this high praise for reliability, check out this anecdotal review from an academic user. For remote work, Zoom sessions, and lectures, wireless headphones can just lag or die at the worst possible times. This user highlights how the reliable wired microphone makes the EarPods a total practical hero. Since there's no Bluetooth compression on the mic, voices come through exceptionally crisp and clear for a fraction of the cost of premium wireless headsets.
And because of that universal USB-C standard, these EarPods are breaking down some serious tech walls. We even found a review from a self-proclaimed Samsung fanboy who bought them for his Galaxy S24 Ultra. I mean, the irony of a hardcore Android user highly recommending an Apple product to his peers, it perfectly captures just how versatile these things are.
Section 4. The not-so-good news: objective drawbacks. So, the crucial point is, while the sound and price are fantastic, the physical build definitely has limits. The cable itself is thin and pretty fragile, especially near the USB-C housing. Also, Apple's rigid geometric fit is quite polarizing. It can literally physically hurt sensitive ears. And finally, there are noticeable reports of the earbuds simply failing after a few months of heavy use. This direct quote perfectly grounds those complaints in a real customer's physical experience. They note, good sound, not very comfortable, needs a rubber surround, like everything else, not just plastic.
It's a great reminder that Apple's one-size-fits-all geometric design might be incredibly comfortable for many, but if your ears don't conform to that specific shape, the lack of adjustable silicone tips is a major ergonomic flaw.
Section 5. The final verdict, is it actually worth your $19?
Let's contrast the two primary options consumers are facing today. On one hand, you have modern wireless earbuds. Sure, they offer freedom of movement, but they come with a high cost, constant battery anxiety, and potential audio or microphone lag. On the other hand, you have the Apple USB-C EarPods. For just $19, you eliminate battery anxiety entirely, you get plug-and-play reliability, and you get a built-in hi-fi DAC delivering remarkably clean audio and stellar microphone performance.
And this brilliantly illustrates our final summary. Ultimately, these earpods offer almost unbeatable value. You get surprising audiophile-level clarity and a rock-solid mic that's perfect for remote work. The only major caveats? You're going to have to handle that thin cable with some care, and you kind of just have to hope the hard plastic mold actually fits your ears.
The numbers really don't lie. With an 83% 5-star rating from tens of thousands of users, the consensus is clear. Sometimes, the simplest technology is exactly what we need. It makes you reconsider your own daily audio habits, the devices you're constantly charging, and the tech frustrations you just tolerate. So, considering all the undeniable benefits of this $19 wired wonder, are you ready to plug back in? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next one.